And see, the thing is, like, whether you like the way you look, the way you think, whatever, whether you don't or do, you're stuck with your body and mind until you die. Yep. So why shouldn't you invest in the most important thing?
Make
yourself.
The best of it.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
Just get to work. Start learning. Invest in your mind. The way I see it, if you have control over your mind, right? If you can gain control over your mind, then you can gain control over your body. And those two things are the most essential things that you need to master.
Yes. There's a good way to do that if you're not sure, like, how do I change my mind? Okay. Start with the most basic thing, your breathing. Most people are not conscious about their breathing. And this is something that I learned, and I was like, okay. So there was a certain time when I wanted to become a Navy SEAL. And Navy SEALs, they go through really, like, dangerous missions. But the way they calm down is by doing certain breathing techniques. And what I found was when you breathe differently, your heart rate doesn't stay the same. It changes. It changes its rhythm always. It's continuous, but it changes its rhythm. So it's never the same. So what I realized was when you change the way you breathe, you're unconsciously just breathing. You get me? So when you let out, breath or anything like that, you're just not even focusing on it. But what I realized is when you focus on your breath, you do like a box breath technique where you hold your breath for 4 seconds. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4 seconds, and you breathe out for 4 seconds. It changes your heart rate. It makes you less anxious. It slows down your heart rate, and it makes you feel like more calmer so you can take on a task way better.
Yep.
And so when you start with a basic function like that, physiology, right? We're right back to it. When you start with a function just like that, you start learning how to change your mentality.
Yeah.
You get me? As simple as that. It starts with the little things and it builds momentum.
Yeah.
I've actually started to use that since you told me about that in a couple weeks. I started to use that in the gym.
Yeah, bro.
Especially on leg days when it's not just to calm me down, right?
Yeah.
It's more about changing my heart rate, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it helps me in the gym even, not like breathing and stuff like that. It's important because it gives you oxygen. Oxygen goes to blood. Your brain needs blood, regulates hormones, chemicals, right?
Exactly.
So I don't know the exact chemicals, but even in the gym, like little stuff like that, even if you feel like overexerted, just do that, what's it called, box breath?
Yeah.
Box breath. Boom. You're big chilling.
When Navy SEALs, right before they go into a mission, a lot of them, they do that. Another one that I learned was if you're feeling anxious or like stressed out, here's a good one. I learned this from Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's a neurologist and a scientist. But he said, when you're feeling anxious or stressed out, another good technique to do is when you're taking a deep breath in, the airbags of your lungs are getting filled. But when you're breathing in and you feel like you're out of air, take another really quick. And what will happen is, it disrupts your system and everything. And you take a long deep breath out and you won't feel as anxious and stressed out anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one to do, and I usually do that. So it's just suggested if you guys want to do it, for the viewer at home.
Yeah, I've tried both of those. The box breath is what I usually use, for example, nosebleeds. I do that all the time. It actually calms because, like you said, slows the heart rate and everything like that. That one I use almost all the time for anything, not just for nosebleeds, for working out all that. But that the second one you were talking about Huberman.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily breathe back in through my nose once my lungs are filled. So instead, I use my mouth instead, open my mouth and just, because it will allow that extra little just airbag in there.
Yeah.
And then you can do the long exhale, or you can do 15 small gaps of exhaling.
Yeah.
Which the 15 one is a little.
I think you have to use your mouth because if you take the deepest breath possible with your nose is closed. So you straight up can't open it without letting air out. So you have to take the rest with your mouth.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good one too. I think breathing techniques are super important.
It's a basic function, but it's really like
If everyone like uses it, right? Like you hear Navy SEALs using it, and then all the way on the other end of the spectrum, NFL players using breathing techniques, different stuff. Why, like, if that doesn't show you that you should be doing them, these people that are either literally the
Athletes.
top, basically the top of the military, I would say Navy SEALs are like the top of the top,
oh yeah,
Insane.
and then making millions of dollars. If they're both doing it and being told to
Shout
do
out
it,
David Goggins.
yeah, true. You probably should do it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I always look. If you're seeing someone very successful do something, and a lot of successful people doing it, it's like, okay, maybe there's just a reason they're being told to do this or have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you should just try it because you never know what could happen.